Okay, we're gonna see if this works through YouTube. Trying to see if this will show up on my... Oh, now it says I'm live on there. And there it is. Okay, so it appears to be working. Okay. Alright, I think I was full of crap on whatever I was saying at the end of yesterday. Somewhere in here I thought I saw something where they're saying like manage certificates wouldn't work, which they do say that here, but I think that's just because they do it a different way. So I want to scan through this. I already did a little bit, unfortunately. And this one is just like storing the certificate that you already have. Yeah, they're like generating a certificate. So, I mean, storing one you already have, that's not what I want. This is create all of the things or whatever. So that's not even the right one. Configure a gateway with a Google managed SSL certificate, which is kind of what I want, but you apparently have to you create the certificate as a separate thing. So you can't just HTTPS and use the cert manager. I guess is not a thing they do by default. That is why I actually was looking over here. It's like added this back earlier. I was gonna start streaming earlier, but the some raininess, so the Starlink was maybe flaky, so I waited a bit. But yeah, so the way the traffic setup I got locally on Docker actually works okay and seems way better, but I do want the cluster stuff and everything, so yeah, it would be good to be able to get this deployed in this way as opposed to just setting up Docker. But this I'm thinking about way more seriously, because it also has the added benefit if I just have all the control over the ingress, and that means that's where the SSL or TLS terminates, which is close to where I think was the other option to go, which was we're going to implement the TLS directly in the app, and it'll directly do all of the let's encrypt stuff and everything. You just don't have to go through this Kubernetes ingress thing at all, other than you have to be able to have an external IP that port forwards. So that may be its own problems to figure out, I guess, but if this is working, that would be totally fine with me, I think. But I'm gonna, okay, that said, I'm gonna scan through this and see what's going on. But I guess when you're creating a thing and then referencing here, you're just you are, or I guess this thing somehow just knows how to, oh, this is GK specific, how to fetch the certificate from that information. But kind of that annoys me is Yeah, I mean, okay, some of this stuff can be configurable, the port, the protocol, this, well, I guess you have to do that now with this gateway thing, but I don't know. It just feels like the default that everybody wants would just be like, yeah, here's my container, here's the host name, the virtual host, and I want HTTPS. Why is that so hard? Okay. Gotta add a HTTP route that just duplicates a lot of stuff. And then you get the gateway. IP address. Hmm? I'm not sure I understand this part. You can skip setting up the DNS to point to your server. I guess I'm not following. Plus, when you start it up, you gotta wait 10 minutes? Is that what it's saying? So the local Nginx thing would probably be faster even. Yeah, I was just thinking about GitHub, and if you create a branch here and I have submodules, does that do a branch in the submodule too? That's one way to find out. What does it check out as B? TLS. So this should create a branch. I'm on branch TLS. If I go into foo, I am on branch master. Get branch, I think it's D. So it does not. I mean, I guess, you know, it's reasonable-ish. We'll just have to, yeah. That's, really, I shouldn't have to change any code in the app. Right? I feel like I could have just avoided a lot of the boondoggles I've been through if I had implemented TLS in the app immediately. I would have saved a lot of time and gotten the better result, I think. Because for my current usage, it just does not matter at all. Alright, let's scan through this, and I think that's the decision. Although annoyingly, you can't like link to SSL on Mac anymore. Like they won't. So when I looked at it briefly a while back, I don't know, earlier in the year, you couldn't. You no longer could link to SSL or OpenSSL. You had to use one of their libraries or wrapper libraries. It's kind of annoying. Okay, so they did some stuff and then they tried to do the thing, or they accessed it and got an output. Which I think is actually what I have to do with the other ingress, even maybe, was to create a certificate and pass it. Yeah, because also if you implement in the app, you could also potentially do client certificates, and the encryption is all the way right to the thing doing stuff, so you're not going to have any snooping, or right to the process. You don't have to have another intermediary in there, so that's some amount of latency gone. Yeah, definitely talk myself into it. I've wanted to do it anyway, so it would have been a much better use of my time than has been. I'm just shocked that this is this annoying. But like for a home Kubernetes thing, you would want, for internal things, you're going to have to just do your own certificate authority, I guess, and be able to have hopefully one certificate for the machine that you just install on your, I don't know, that's a far down the road. Let's stop wasting time. Oh. Is this different than Cert Manager? So, nope. Okay, that they have not made this better would be my assumption here. They may have disconnected those pieces, which may be better, but they have not improved anything as far as getting this working. So I'm just going to abandon this. Secure load balancer from the load balancer to backends. But see, like that's kind of desirable, but I can't do that because I don't support TLS within my app. Does not verify the certificate used by the backend. Huh. Yeah, because who cares? I mean, mostly you just want the encryption. Although, whatever, let's not get into that. Yeah, this just leaves, yeah, it's just... Hmm. keep running across this throughout the years, and I've always like read to try to use it, and then it just never pans out. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, the answer is fuck all this. It's a container. It's gonna have the SSL built in. We're not doing any of this shit. And we're not wasting any more time, hopefully. And this, it also means you could potentially use Cloud Run. What is my Cloud Run issue? Oh god, what is this? Of course I'm logged out again and it's fucked up. No. So I think this is not that. Oh no, wait. Yeah. You also can't do wildcards, so that would be a deal breaker when it came, if whatever. So, yeah, this had all kind of other problems. So we're just gonna, we're just gonna abandon this for now. Also, ingresses is always somehow you've got to know this IP address. Oh no, wait. Plus all these, like, you have no control over what the load balancer does, it seems. Not that it's, for my uses, it's typically a problem, but so what is the other option? Service types are Oh. How do I get an external? What? But if you just create a service, it's not really exposed. Because this is internal. It's not an external IP. Yeah, so that's the other problem actually if you don't use an ingress. Is how do you get a name? How do you put multiple on a thing? If you want multiple apps on a single ingress, the ingress is separate from the app. This is what I had originally done. But okay, so um, what does this mean? What? By connecting to any node. Go to outside of the cluster. Any node using the appropriate protocol. Port. I mean, need to read the thing about virtual IPs, I guess. But it's never gonna get, like, your machine is never gonna get more than one external IP. Hence the ingress, I guess. Fuck. So this is implying that you should just not use that at all. The service type load balancer, I guess. And there's no way they're sort of getting at to use static IP, apparently. Oh, that's what this page was. So okay. So even if I implement um, even if I implemented stuff on the back end, I still have to get some sort of external IP in each container. Each service or whatever has to have an external IP, so it's got to do some sort of port forwarding, so it's got to use some sort of gateway or ingress or whatever, regardless, or whatever the service type load balancer that you maybe shouldn't use, but I don't know what a service mesh is. I don't know what that is. God, it's fucking taking forever. So, there was... Nope. So what do we got here? But these are internal, I think. Kube proxy. It's got to do proxying there too. Hmm. What? Yeah. Yeah. So, um, so you like just have to have a proxy, right? Let's just try something. How do I deploy a single container to Google? Um, so yeah, you got a deployment. They're on 8080. Do that. They're using a type load balancer. Coming on that and going to that. Right. 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 So this is probably as close as you're going to get if you implement the TLSN app. What? Similar on AWS. they knew what I was taught. They did infer this correctly. I wonder if this is true.